Hi there, welcome to part two of our 37 Chevy air conditioning install. So we're getting to the point of getting the condenser mounted. I was going to do the build a radiator fan shroud. That'll be after this little clip. But before that, I got the condenser mocked up in there. It came with some brackets that are probably 6 inches long and had holes in the lined up with the holes that were in these tabs. These were not threaded, so I tapped them 1032, and so it's got 8 screws. Well, it will have 8 screws in there, and then I'll paint this all up and grind this flush and all that. So, but yeah, the radiator fits in there good. This condenser is going to be about 1 inch away. It's going to clear this cross brace. Got it tacked in or spot welded in. It's pretty solid. So next is going to be probably building that shroud for the radiator. So stay tuned. Alrighty, it's fan shroud time. So I measured my width of my flange and the distance up. I think I'm going to have 1 inch above the core for the fans. I have a 12 and a 10 fan, and then we'll go across, down, over, and ends up being inch and hard to see this here, but 1.5 inches, 2.5, 17 across, and then back down. Well, all totaled up, that ends up being 25.5, and 24 is the height. So I need at least 24 wide. Well, dang it. I'm at 23 and 5/8. So we're going to have to fudge this a little bit to make it work. Height-wise, I got plenty. I think I have about 4 feet there. So I'll get this laid out, bring you back and show you what it looks like, and we'll get the handy-dandy sheet metal brake there and see if we can bend up some steel. This is like 20 gauge sheet metal. Okay, I've been cutting and marking, scribing and measuring, and hopefully we get everything right. So here's going to be the side step down to the radiator. This will be folded over top and bottom, and then my two 12 and my 10-inch fan openings there and there. Just kind of mock those up and pick the spot. So measured the old radiator, and it looks like I'm going to have enough room for the pulley between the fans by the time everything gets stacked up on the shroud. So anyway, we'll be cutting these openings out. Okay, I have an update for you. I did a little flanging here with my just my flanging tool on my air hammer. Just wanted to give it some extra strength. Most of it turned out good. A few places got kind of beat up here. So luckily the fans are going to be bolted to it. You won't see it, but and then I put it in my handy dandy Harbor Freight bender, and I bent up. Well, I got this side bent in half of the ends. I had to bend the last bend just with a hammer because this bending brake has this wide lip here and you can't get in tight to do tight bends. That's the only bad thing about this, but for the most part it worked out well. I just laid it on there, just clamped it on there and took a hammer and beat it down, and finished bending this with just these sheet metal pliers. So got that done, and let me show you what I've got here on the radiator. Bear with me. Something like that. Realize I have to cut this out a little bit to have clearance to put the hose on, but I can cut that out and then just kind of box that in. And then the fans will rest like that. Number 2. So we have a 12 and a 10, and maybe we'll end up putting a flap on here just to let the air go through so it doesn't have to go all through. I don't know how restrictive these cages are going to be on these fans. It might need, going down the highway, it might need to free flow through the shroud, but then I want them to be closed when the fans are on so it doesn't bypass the radiator. So we might end up doing a little flapper thing there and maybe up here. It's actually big enough to like put a 6-inch fan here, but I don't know if I want 3 fans or not. So we'll have to explore that. We'll have to figure out what we want on that. I don't know what kind of material or how I want to go about it. But so anyway, next is going to be getting this boxed in, drilling some holes, rounding out some corners. Yeah, it's coming together. I've got this little piece cut out where I want to relieve this for the lower radiator hose, so I'll see if we can curl this guy up in there. I might probably have to add a piece, I'm sure, to finish this out. But anyway, that'll make a nice little transition. We'll get the welder out and weld it up and come back and show you what it looks like. Here's the final product. Welded in there. I went ahead and welded all the corners up too. So I guess now we'll just finish trimming this and do some test fitting. Make sure we're still going to be able to use it. And I got to come up with some kind of a flap thing. I'm thinking maybe aluminum. Yeah, it's just got a little oil candy action going there, but it'll be fine. So we'll keep on going on this one. So I came up with a flap idea out of some aluminum and a piece of copper wire, and had to have some way of making a hinge, and it'll flop on the copper wire easy, and wasn't sure how to make that copper secured, so I wanted to come up with something like that I could put over the wire. So I made my own. I came up with an assortment of these products, and all I did was, see if I can do this one-handed. All I did was I took, let's say this is our material stock and this is a drill bit, lock that in the vise, beat that over with a hammer, fold it in half, pinched it together, and then squeezed it in the vise, and then I had to tap it over on the back side to make it flat on the back. And then took that out, trimmed it to length, and then just used my metal punch, punched holes in it. It actually punched through 2 layers of 20 gauge, which didn't know, but hey, it didn't break, so I guess it's tougher than it looks. So we'll keep going on that. Probably going to have 2 there and a couple of them up there. See if we can get one of these on here and give her a test. I have another update. We have the rest of the flaps for the other side mounted. Well, not mounted, they're laying there just to show you what it looks like. And then these two down here. I was going to do two up there, but I thought maybe it'd be too heavy to flip these up. So I went with three. I don't know if this is going to be just a big rattly mess and I end up yanking the whole thing off after a while, but I thought I'd give it a try. Maybe I'd learn something, and if I did, I'd share it with you, and maybe it'll work for you. So anyway, I got the 37 over there. I've been doing some work on the upper control arm bushing, so it kind of got kicked over on that, and a couple brake lines, and then I had the brake hoses to change, and I had to find something that would work because I couldn't find the factory ones. They're only for drum brakes. So I ended up going with Mustang ones. That's a whole other story. But so anyway, that's where I'm at on this. I think I'm going to take everything apart here and paint it, get my fans mounted on there, and start mocking this thing up for size. So anyway, I think I'm going to cut this video short right here. It's been plenty long as it is. Thanks for sticking around. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe, leave a comment if you thought it was worth it, and we'll catch you on the next one.